Diamond's getting back into the habit. Here's your look at the Diamond Select, the Conjuring Universe, The Nun, Gallery Diorama Statue. When a young nun at a cloistered abbey in Romania takes her own life, a priest with a haunted past and a novitiate on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate. Together, they uncover the order's unholy secret. Risking not only their lives, but their faith and their very souls, they confront a malevolent force in the form of a same demonic nun that first terrorized audiences in The Conjuring 2, as the abbey becomes a horrific battleground between the living and the damned. This gallery diorama of the nun is based on her appearance in the 2018's The Nun. It is made of a high-quality PVC and features detailed sculpting and paint applications. It is designed by César and sculpted by Alterton. Right out the gate, one thing I will comment on when it comes to the gallery statue of the nun, despite her size and despite being made of PVC plastic, she has a misleading weight to her. Because you would think that a statue of this size would have you can kind of guess in your head how heavy she would be, but it's not until you actually take her out of the plastic prison that she's contained in that you realize how heavy the statue actually is. A lot of it is probably centered around this area of the statue and less up here. And a lot of it can also be tied up with the rather elaborate display base that they've sculpted for her. Which also is the one thing I have a problem with when it comes to this statue. I don't mind the coloring. Well, we'll talk more about that as we pick the statue up. Again, it's got a lot more weight to it. The base itself, let's talk a little bit about that. The coloring is not so much the issue. I actually like the blue. It's a nice departure from the otherwise very dark colors that we're going to be seeing for the rest of the statue. So it's not so much the color, nor is it really the sculpting either. And again, you can see it's translucent plastic. My problem comes with the way they've sculpted the top of the base. Because they've given it sort of a flame look, it either reads to me like water, like she's inside of a funnel of water, or it comes across like she's actually inside like blue flames. If they had kept the color the way they did and still kept the sculpting the way they did, but then made the top of it, instead of pointed like this, made it more rounded curves like clouds, I think it actually would have worked better for the statue, in my own personal opinion. As we spin this around, you can kind of hopefully see what I'm talking about. They all come across more like flames than they actually do clouds. If the intended plan was to make this more look like fog or smoke, again, I don't mind the coloring, it's the points that are really the bigger problem I find. You can tip up also the display base, and you can also see the inner workings of it. Very hollow, of course, on the inside. That's not, of course, going to be the show side. That's not the public side that Julia Child would always talk about. But again, when you're looking at it like it, the color isn't so bad at all. It's just these extra flames that sort of throw off the statue, in my own personal opinion. Moving on to the statue's sculpted head, you've got a very dark, ominous airbrushing of black around the areas of the eyes, the areas of the cheeks, and the section around her mouth. These darker colors really work well to add a contrast when it comes to her face, and adds that dark demeanor that she's known for. Because they've also darkened the eye area as much as they have, the lighter color of the yellow irises really pop against that black backdrop. The face is made up of a mixture of different purples, grays, and of course that black. Despite the darker palette to work with, you can still see like there's these cracks all over her face. Really, these small little details I really appreciate they took the time to put in. Of course, she also has that notable lightning bolt vein that comes out the top of her forehead. That's been nicely painted in there as well. Really nice looking head sculpt though. I'm only hoping the camera can do proper justice of this. And then, of course, when we get to the rest of her habit, the long veil that she has on either side, I like the way that this fans out. It adds a little bit of extra volume to it. If not for that, the shape of her body would be very, very straight. By adding this little bit of additional curvature on either side, it does add a much necessary volume to, I feel, the sculpting of the statue. The whites are kept pretty white. There's very little of additional paint that's been added in there. The black, about the same. Though there is some additional texturing here on the side of the veil that you really can appreciate when you see it, especially when you're seeing it from the side here. I like the way it kind of overlaps itself. It's not completely flat across, where you sort of can see the material has overlapped and folded over itself. I think that really does work quite well for the statue. When we see it from the back, I feel there's a lot more texturing here at play when it comes to the actual robe section of the habit that she's wearing. You can see all the nice, very nice detailed sculpt that they put into the actual robe. Of course, she does have the belt. Now, the belt is a separate piece. I wouldn't be doing this, mind you, because it's really only attached to the top here. And I think, of course, that's going to start bending the plastic, and that PVC is going to break right off. The hands are also sculpted well also. You can see a closer look at that. Some nice additional veins that they've added to the tops of the palms. The fingers are a little off. I mean, when it comes to certainly the paint, we get a little closer look so you guys can see here. There's a few extra little spots of paint. I can't tell you if that's supposed to be there or not. You could almost even say that those are supposed to be warts. But there are like a few little spots here, like that one right there on the finger and that section right there on the thumb. But who's to say that's maybe supposed to be there in the first place? The only other thing I could say about the statue, I'm going to put her down for 1 second here so you can kind of see it here. I want to turn her slightly to the side. Now she does have, like in the movie, I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit here. She has her arms up. I could say, if anything, maybe they could have brought the arms even further up so that they were at least almost like a 90 degree to the rest of her body. They seem to sit really low, especially like this arm right here. Doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. Maybe, if anything, they probably could have brought the arms a little bit further forward, like maybe kept this arm to about the same place where it is right now, and maybe, if anything, bring this arm a little more straight forward. I don't know if it had something more to do with the sculpt, that they would be worried, of course, if the arm was to be out like this, that there could be risk more of breakage. But I think like the arm seems a little too relaxed for me. Yes, this one arm could be draped down to the side of the habit, but I feel like this other arm here could maybe have been a little bit more straight out. I think you would have been more able to go in there with a very exaggerated sleeve draping down from the bottom of the arm. But yeah, again, when you're looking at the arms like this, it feels like she's only going half the amount of effort to bring those arms up. I really would have liked to see that arm be a lot higher than what it is. Despite that, and despite for the flaming base that they've actually given her, it's a really, like I said, ominous, dark-looking nun that I can actually put on display. We don't really have a lot of nun statues either. Not at least of this price point, which is, again, one of the things I really like about the gallery statues that Diamond Select are putting out. They're putting out really high-quality statues, really nice paint jobs, especially when we look at the face here at Nun, and at an affordable price as well. Nun here set me back. I think she was about $60 or so. But when you compare her to the other statues of the Nun that are on the market, she is by far one of the most reasonable statues of the Nun if you're looking to pick up one and add it to your collection. A few critiques, but generally a positive review of the Nun Gallery statue from the folks over at Diamond Select. And even whatever criticism I've added, keeping in mind, take it with a grain of salt. It's only based on my own personal opinion. The two things I could even point out at being criticisms anyways are minor to start off with. Her arm being up, like, is that really a big deal? At least they're doing something with the sculpting of the arms, that they're not just draped to the side of her body. The arms are up. I just would have preferred to have one arm at least a little higher than what it is. And then the main problem I had with the statue, and again, it's so very minor, is the display base. I don't mind the blue, but even on the back of the packaging, it either reads to me like water or it looks like blue flames. I would have maybe rounded those out a little bit more, made them look a little puffier like smoke clouds, maybe similar to what we had gotten with the Mysterio Gallery diorama statue, also produced by Diamond Select. Those are the only two things that I could find fault with, and again, those faults are so minor and based only on the opinions of the person behind the camera. At the end of the day, if you guys are looking to pick up this piece for yourself, you're either going to pick it up based on your own feelings of the statue, or you're going to pass on it just because maybe you don't even like the look of the nun to start off with. I like the look of the nun. The face paint is fantastic. The sculpting of the body is good. The flames, questionable, but at the end of the day, it's just my own personal opinions. What do you guys think of the Nun Gallery diorama statue from the folks over at Diamond Select? Let me know. Weigh in your thoughts down below in the comments section. Do you like the base? Do you not like the base? I always like reading your comments. If you guys are new to this channel, enjoying all the content you're seeing, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Be sure as well that you move on over, turn on that bell notification so you're telling YouTube that yes, I'm that guy that wants to get those reminders, those notifications of when this guy, the guy behind the camera, gets those new videos out. Send me those reminders. That's the way you can do it. You can hit that bell notification. And as well, you can keep your peepers peeled to this channel because we will be looking at more Diamond Select reviews coming up in the not so distant future. And as always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.